This video is all about one of the most exciting adventures I'd ever done, and that was going on the Inca Jungle Trek in Cusco, Peru with Mega Expeditions. So the Inca Jungle Trek is a 4-day and 3-night excursion that starts down in Cusco. Now, Cusco is the ancient capital city of the Incas and has existed for thousands of years, and as you go through the city, you'll often notice a variety of architecture that is both of European and Incan influence. Now, this video isn't necessarily about Cusco as the city, but I do have one right here that you can check out that is. Now, I genuinely believe that the Inca Jungle Trek was one of the most exciting adventures I'd ever done. The morning of day one, you get picked up from your hotel or hostel, wherever you're staying in Cusco, and you head out right into the mountains right away. The first part of the day, right after getting picked up, will take you to your breakfast/lunch spot, and after a few hours, you will arrive right into the mountains by Mount Veronica. You'll get geared up in your mountain biking equipment, and then you will spend the next 2 hours descending down the entire mountain and going about 50 kilometers on these bikes. Now, the riding is not very intense as it is all downhill and it is all paved, but it is extremely fun. You can basically go at whatever pace you feel like is justifiable for you. So for me, as an avid mountain biker for many, many years, I wanted to go as fast as possible, which was unbelievable. At the end of the mountain biking, you will arrive at the town of Santa Maria at the elevation of 2,250 meters, foot conversion right here. Santa Maria is also the base for your next activity, next excursion on the first day, which includes whitewater rafting. Now, as a disclaimer, I wasn't really expecting to enjoy whitewater rafting that much. There's plenty to do in Ottawa in Canada. I've never had the chance to, but I was expecting it to be like mediocre at best. So pleasantly surprised, as this was genuinely one of the favorite things I did in all of 2019. So I highly, highly recommend that if you are down in Peru to go whitewater rafting. The guides we had, they were great. The rapids were intense. It was amazing, and we got some cool photos out of it as well. So next, for day 2, you are going to be leaving your hostel in Santa Teresa, and you're going to be heading immediately on a 4-hour hike right into the jungle, into the mountains. And for me, this was the most difficult and rewarding part of the entire Inca Jungle Trek. It was amazing. I will warn you, you are going to be going uphill. It may be a little bit muddy at certain points, so do wear some shoes or maybe some pants that can cover you up a little bit better and also grip a little bit better. There may also be mosquitoes. Now, some of you may be asking, Jamie, why are you wearing a baseball tee and a full shirt today when it's so hot out? And the answer to that is, mosquitoes, for whatever reason, love gringo blood a lot more than anyone else. In fact, my legs yesterday, after whitewater rafting, probably got about like a couple hundred bites on each leg, whereas everybody else maybe had a dozen. So that is why I decided to cover myself almost entirely and suffocate in this heat, as opposed to succumb to the wrath of the mosquitoes. Bit of sorry stuff. So definitely bring bug spray and plenty of sunscreen if you do go on this adventure. But this is your best opportunity to see potential wildlife. It's your best opportunity to hopefully see some Andean condors, or to go through the jungles and really see the flora, fauna that are along the way. I adored this part. It's where I got the best drone shots. It's where we were able to hike right along the mountain ridges. For me, this was the most photogenic part of the Inca Jungle Trek, and I can't recommend day 2 enough. However, at the end of the day, you are probably going to be tired. You are probably going to be a little physically burnt out, and that's okay. Make sure that you bring a lot of water. You get some along the way. Bring some snacks. But then it is all worth it, because you're going to finally end up and arrive at Santa Maria at the hot springs. And the hot springs there's really no better way that you can possibly end a long days of hiking and adventuring and kind of photographing. So totally recommend it. It's in the beautiful valley, and honestly, it's probably the most relaxing part of the entire trip. The following morning, you will then head ziplining and go to what I honestly think was probably the best ziplining I've ever done. I've done it a bunch of times here in Canada, except not when it's this cold in the winter, in the summer obviously. and it was really cool. You do 6 different zip lines that go right over the canyons, right through the mountains, and one of the best parts about it is that you're actually able to spin as well as go upside down as you zip across. There's also a really cool rope sort of like bridge that you can go over that like teeters and totters. That's really sketchy but fun. Not sketchy that it's not safe, just sketchy because it's like you feel like you're gonna fall, but if you do, you're harnessed in. And then on top of that, you also have this like little rock climbing wall that you can go up and scale. And for me, this was definitely one of the highlights of the entire tour and entire experience. The friends that I made along the way over the past couple days, we really dove and jumped right into this and got to bond even more, which is one of the hidden beauties of travel in my opinion. So that was one of the best starts that we could have had to the day. Then after lunch, immediately after the zip lining, you're gonna go, you finish eating, and then you're on your way to Aguas Calientes, which is the footsteps of Machu Picchu. This hike is about 3 hours, and much of it takes you along the train tracks of that. Many of the trains that go to Aguas Calientes go up and down, and it's right along the Urubamba River, and it's another one of those really amazing photogenic locations that you can get as many photos as you want. And for me, like I really want to emphasize this, that the people that you meet on these trips and that you kind of go through and connect with along the way are oftentimes the highlights of travel themselves. And it's these periods of hiking for a few hours that you really get to not sit down, but actually walk with them and meet them. And the group that we had was truly fantastic. So that's something to think of. You're gonna have a couple hours to meet and hang out with these, but you're gonna have a couple hours to hang out with these people and then continue on to Aguas Calientes as you go right along the riverbed and finally arrive at the base of probably the reason why you came to Peru in the first place. And finally, day 4, you are in Aguas Calientes. Like I said, the footsteps of Machu Picchu, the reason why everybody comes to Peru and one of the 7 wonders of the world, and you are going to be getting your ticket to go explore. Now, most people on tour will get their ticket very early in the morning. Some of them will even get it for the first up, which I believe it opens at 7 a.m. So there are 2 ways that you can get up there. You can either hike from Aguas Calientes right up the roads in there, which I believe only takes about an hour and a half, or you could take a shuttle bus, which I think is the equivalent of about 12 Canadian dollars each way, to get up and down. After a couple days of hiking, I opted out to just take the bus. However, it's up to you how you want to get up there. Besides the point, Machu Picchu, the biggest question is it worth it? And in my opinion, it totally is. It is one of the 7 wonders of the world for a reason. In my opinion, it's not overhyped. In fact, it is so much more big and drastic and impressive in person, and I can't recommend people to go there enough. I think it is a bucket list place and you should explore it, and I'm just gonna let this footage play out and kind of explain what it's like for itself. There you have it. That's the Inca Jungle Trek in just a few minutes, and honestly one of the greatest adventures I'd ever done. The Inca Jungle Trek and the Salkantay Trek are both remarkable. One, the Salkantay is a little bit more strenuous and difficult in terms of the terrain, altitude, and hiking. Inca Jungle Trek is a little bit more adventurous with the activities that you get to do. Now, I really loved my entire experience with Mega Expeditions. I'll leave their links in my bio for you to check out. You can also go to megaexpeditions.com to see some of their prices and their tour offerings, because I loved them. Our friends I was with, we all really enjoyed meeting each other and having that experience. But if you found any value in this, if you enjoyed this, I'd love for you to follow along and subscribe. I'm going to be posting tons of content about Peru, about Europe, and about some of my other adventures and solo travels more frequently. So until next time, peace and goodbye, and thank you for watching.